From the Green Book, The Emerald Itinerary. Love. The great promise of real and everlasting deep love was laid in your heart from an early age on. And though this may be a true desire, the problem arises when we expect this overwhelming future to be taking place right off the bat as a result of our wanting. Additionally, the real problem arises when we start believing in something with the title of a twin flame relationship or twin soul union to be the perfect representative of this, and our meant-to-be role in this dream romance. The promise of sexuality to be the depth of love is another side note to this story that easily gets the main character in our love stories. Sexuality as a theme collecting all other desires in it, as a big and all-containing present that solves all emotions into eternal love. The point is that this dream is both true and false at the same time, depending on where you are coming from. Do you come from the soul frequency? It's true. Do you come from the hurt personality? It's false. That's all there is to say about it, but that's a bit short. Therefore, we have a longer story for you, all through hell and back, knowing that this is what you have gone through in life. The point is that how many things you know, have arranged for yourself, or have gotten from heritage, family, or society, but you do not have the love, the frequency of the eternal essence of being. It's just as if you had nothing at all. Gathering this mental, emotional, or physical stuff, whether gotten for free or worked hard for, is great, but not an answer to your true soul desires that are your birthright and surpass the emotional, physical, and mental, although it expresses in these realms all you ever envisioned for your soul's perfect love. Your soul's perfect life is a sexual act. It's the working together of the soul and the personality. It's a co-creation of both powers, the soul penetrating the personal experience in its world and surrounding. The personal experience being receptive for delightful, unexpected experiences that could happen when it allows in the active way for this penetration. Your soul's perfect life resides in a way through an opening, a door to the invisible. And this could be found to exist as a pyramid. In the apex of it, your soul's essence is lying in a sarcophagus, ready to be awoken as a fully enlivened, multidimensional experience. Your sarcophagus opens slightly, and you can sit up, even stand up, and have a look around. A room adorned with the most beautiful sparkling crystals appears to you. And you meet the inner teacher standing there, the guru, the one that leads you from darkness, gu, to light, ru. That's the place where your soul's journey begins. The journey to great love and all other riches that come from it. However, you will wake up in your daily circumstances after this experience and say you see something completely different. A nightmare of faults, mistakes, not enoughness, and distance to anything that seems valuable that just awoke into you in their true essence. You may feel overwhelmed with negativity, and you fall victim to the present powers surrounding you. but only when you have denied yourself the full energy that just experienced in your soul's shining room that contained it all. The soul love of your journey, the partnership from which the world's peace mission springs, while you are gaining rich emotional experiences, ideas, and material resources. Instead, you find the current life circumstances to be very off and unworthy because you suddenly experience it as a contrasting experience of which you found as an essential goal for you in life. You feel trapped. Some guys like you, but you don't fancy them. And for the sake of passing time and consuming sexual acts you enjoy, you engage with them anyway. Later finding out it's hard to either get rid of them or get rid of the obsession you got for this particular person that you try to mold into the frequency of your soul love, which doesn't work because nobody can adjust their frequency under such circumstances, meaning when pressured by your expectations of them. If frequency is ever able to be adjusted by willpower alone, because it is steered by the soul instead of willpower. You feel trapped, while the fire of the great soul mission and the partnership that belongs to that vision is burning inside of you. It's not easy to get enough space for yourself in that situation to be able to feel this situation as a whole and your soul as being free from that. Thus suddenly seeing and realizing you are not trapped at all, but the situation of feeling entrapment just creates a great, warm, transformative fire inside of you that fires up the momentum of creating, prepping the ground for what you ask for. The burning of the current circumstances may take a long time, because all the hard work you and your family and other groups you are a part of, wanted or unwanted, that came before you, have invested immensely in all the wood bricks that are placed in this world you are born in, living in, brought up in, educated in, and trained into by the highest professional ideals and coaching methods. The burning of these current happenings will take a long time, only when you are timely focused instead of in the now. And that is how you can focus away from that victimhood, not by waiting until it is over, because it goes on until you are in your coffin and all your remainders are burned to ashes, depending on the customs of your family and society. Thus, enjoy the burning of the circumstances, because it is a great source of warmth and power. Whether you appear to be married to the wrong person when you are unveiled to your true soul's desires, or you appear to be swept away by many lovers wrongly because the true life idea for your soul is to be with the great soul life partner that matches your vibration so exactly that together you are so big a light that you can help the masses find theirs. Whatever the story is you find yourself in, burning will be your reality when you have once consciously found your now. That has set free a desire that will never really evaporate from your experience and causes a soul-steered desire that is in the end bigger than all of the other desires, including the wish for the burning to finally stop. The pyramid, the door to the inner room, functions perfectly in the heat of that fire. In fact, the door opens in it more easily too. When the door is just slightly open, you will experience burning your life circumstances very differently. more as a set of waves in an ocean, forever lovingly rocking you as ebb and flow do, as the Great Mother does. She gives you the feelings of safety and natural worthiness you always longed for, and also need to travel further and closer towards that, which you are as a togetherness with all that naturally belongs to you, including your mate that will be waiting for you whenever you are ready. Two are always mirroring each other's universes. Two are equal. Two are a true pair, forming a bigger whole, the start of a new co-creational society, while the world is burning. And because the world is burning, two have an important mission to give that burning world a hand when they are close enough to first reach their hands towards each other. So, however you find yourself seemingly alone in your journey in exactly this situation just described, you are two already, both on your own parts of the journey, until you are both able to reach hands to each other. Understand that it is exactly the longing for the fulfillment of the big love dream that keeps you journeying. And that it never stops unless you left this physical plane temporarily by death. It's always about aligning yourself in the moment to your soul's identity and bringing it in co-creation with the universe and the best of your current surroundings. Every love union is like that. And the perfection of it surpasses you because you cannot see yet how this life is full of what your soul truly asked for to experience. It's normal to not be able to oversee this completely, although sometimes you think you do, but that could just be quite delusional. And that is in fact one of the great gifts of life, being one big wrapped up present that shows new ways to unfold over time. You got rid of another layer of illusion. One of the big illusions of life is conflict. Yes, there are imbalances in relationships and even in relationship to your great life partner of everlasting divine love. That's because life creates in a physical, emotional, and social way with imbalance. Growth on all levels comes forth of it. It's only the moment you let it go, having fully experienced it, that you get to a new level of inner peace. It's just a matter of a new gift wrap that is coming off, and you have fun in this unveiling process, although tears may be shed because of the seemingly going away of what you know until now, though it may be only fights. All invisible helping powers will always stand right there for you when you broke another veil to wrap you in their loving arms before you see the shiny new gift wrap paper. That's what you can be sure of. The absolute abolishment of worn out gift wraps can be quite an event. And this is enhanced by alignment of it with universal celestial circumstances and worldly conflicts and group consciousness experiences. Yes, it can be sudden and unexpected, since that is the way to surpass your willpower and paid out plans for the fruition of what is truly important to your essential development, later to be incorporated in your schedules, plans, and soul alignment, willpower, since working in the physical also needs schedules and focus. Again, imbalances create the need for shifts, so don't be afraid of it, but silently welcome them and bow your head. Cry if you feel like it. Unclutter your space fast. Eat fruit, write a diary, or whatever empowers your true soul energy to stay up while your world falls apart. That's how two come into union. They could bump into each other like planets crashing into each other, and hurt is as much a relevant experience as joy, since both are just other ends of the same stick. That's how true wholeness comes into form. However, that may be a disappointing perspective to the child that holds the ideal of true and everlasting love as a partnership and a relationship you are swept away by, like the dreamt of parent will bring the child into safety and cuddle it endlessly. Now you know how two, in fact, come into place by a crash that will both energize the two as well as create their eventual individual form. A creation process that will go on until your soul chooses to leave this specific plane of existence. A transformation that will bring your inner polarities in another attunement. The individuation on an emotional scale is the focus of that, although not in the way of the studied psychological procedures, but in a much more soul-guided and organic way. The deeper background of this is the opening up, again, of the door to the inner room in the apex of the pyramid. That will have to be reinforced every moment, every day, every week, every month, and every year by opening to the possibility of receiving a present out of nowhere in your own way. It can be meditation, walking in nature, or sitting in a fragrant bath, up to you, as long as you open the door enough for the gift to reach you. The teacher is standing there with a chalice of wisdom and richness in his hand. But are you willing to receive? Go to the river, meditate on its shore, able to receive the life-giving water every moment, and be vigilant. That's the beginning of co-creation. However, we mostly think of it as going to another person and forcing working together, which is the recipe of failure very much when not having quenched your unquenchable thirst by the waters of life first. In that way, in contrast, your recipe of true essential success comes forth to the foreground, and your story gets rewritten completely. Other aspects of your story than previously caught your eye will seem to be significant now, creating a new reality within your existing one. All your tools will be placed in front of you suddenly, meaning they always were there, but you will now see them and acknowledge them. They will form new meaningful conglomerates of tools, libraries of knowledge, and methods of healing, and you will now be able to recognize them. Using them will fall into place as a natural action that comes organically through you. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be open for both universal frequency as well as earth reality. Be aware that most will not be on a reality level, although presenting themselves as business experts, spiritual graduates, or whatever unleveled form of knowing, because knowing is not being, and an intelligent perspective is nothing like the truth of their own reality. Just like you and your mate have to individually get to reality level 2. Manipulation has no place here, only love. Sexuality as the energetic power of desire brings this all together. As much as the soul is the spiritual and thus essential source of your life, sexuality is the earthly, realistic, and exact counterpart of that. Because sexuality, in the broader understanding, means the way we live our lives in a safe emotional setting, as the highest expression of the soul in its current circumstances. How do you feel at home? What makes you feel acknowledged? What clothes do you love to feel on your skin? Which foods serve your vitality best? What kind of mate brings you the best personal love experience? What work suits you best? All of this is part of your sexual soul-fed nature. The highest love mate is thus just a part of this organic unfoldment, as much as food is. It means to allow yourself to be a sensitively feeling person, creating from the reality of how things feel to you in the light of the truth of experiential energy awareness. Being on the path of the co-creational soul mission is the key here, and that journey starts in the alignment with that in this exact moment and only stops when you exchange this plane of existence to the next. Any theoretical model of how the soul lover has to come to you is just that, a model that may never fit your unique situation and soul identity. The dream that was laid in your heart is true, but not as a personal goal that has to be achieved in a certain predictive way. That may be just a belief system that holds you back from finding the two the most, because the two only come into existence, meaning in the consciousness of each other, when a free playing space is allowed for. The two may not be what they envisioned for each other at all, on the one hand because their previous life experiences may have led to other belief systems, and on the other hand because they may get their full-blown shape only after coming together. Possible conflict and re-entering with their individuated soul state. They may not even be recognizable for each other, thus creating a creative gap space in itself, a void of not knowing, not recognizing consciously. Yes, unconsciously you may be aware years prior, and some are especially sensitive to unconscious signs bubbling up in daily life. But the conscious coming together of the two takes quite another awareness than you previously had trained yourself into, nevertheless. Thus, you will see, it is not enough to work out your emotional patterns of the past, not enough to acknowledge the signs of the presence of the two, such as seeing meaningful numbers, events, and nature signs. Not enough to understand this, and not enough to write your love story in the current twin flame union fashion. Not enough to follow universal energy, nor your current emotional earth situation. The only answer is to open to the empty room where the shiny inner teacher appears to you that will lead you if you let them. This answer cannot be given by the soul alone, and not by sexual pleasure in daily life alone as well. It can only be given by the co-creation of soul energy and sexual energy, the great work of life. That is. And the rhythm of it is entirely designed for you individually. Although many meetups with others may happen on the way, so you will never be alone in this. Let that be of great consolation to the longing lovers instead of a source of unfreedom, conflict, and envy.